in this experience, I was in an all-black arena. At least that's where my view had opened up to. And in this arena, I saw it did not look like one of my bodies. It looked like a character from this movie that I used to watch as a child. It's like a cartoon kind of movie. It's called El Dorado. And this character, as my impression served, was like one of my bodies, or it was a part of my consciousness. And he was strung up, or not really strung up by like a physical looking chains or physical looking rope. It was more in like an energetic kind of hold, like spread out. His arms spread out, his legs were spread out. And I could see these 4 points, like the 4 directions, north, east, south, and west, that each one had this kind of black arc with an arrow facing in its respective direction. And these were holding me in this position. And I came up and I was looking at the body and I was looking at this part of myself. And I remember having this very strong impression that this was set up by the guides, that it looked scary, this situation, but it was actually almost like a test that they wanted to see how I was going to deal with a situation like this. Would I actually be able to figure out some way to let this go, or I don't want to use the word free, but like overcome this obstacle, you might say, or this deal with this challenge. And so they set this situation up, and I remember it was very interesting. It was like a puzzle. It was like I was scanning all my bodies in my memories and all this, like parts of myself, to see if I could have some kind of reference as to a situation like this, so I might have an idea of how to deal with it. But I didn't come across anything. I just started to sing the new you, and when I started to sing the new you, all these little points, like I said, the 4 points, they started to crack. They would start to glow, and then they would burst and crack and then turn into dust, and then they would release this part, and so on and so forth. And so I kept singing the new you till all of them had cracked, and this part of my body, it fell down to the ground, you might say. It wasn't really ground, but it fell down, and I remember approaching it, and I was sort of like adjusting its hair, and it was kind of funny like that. But I just thought that was an interesting situation, that the guides would set up a situation, even though it might look scary, it's really for our benefit, that we have to learn how to deal with these things using our awareness, other than, you know, just asking for help or other things like that. So just wanted to share that. Thought it was interesting.
Yeah, Jeremy, those things are very, very good. So also, it's not only a test, but it's like a test, but it's to see if we will, you know, continue to go to meet the challenges. And then at some point, just like boot camp, where you go through all that stuff, you're ready to go out and be the soldier and meet the big challenge. And so you're rather qualified, but then again, as you go on the big adventure, you get the real experiences. And so fortunately for us, it's not hazardous. It's not about the hazards of the personal self, but the personal self does take a lot of it on. But we know that eventually we will get through it and get past it, and the personal self will disappear and be gone. We no longer need it. So we have that knowledge, which is really cool, as opposed to most people don't. It's kind of do or die, but there are people that will risk their life. And so they are really risk takers in the sense that they're willing to do anything to, you know, defend their family, the country, whatever idea it is, protect others, especially mothers and children. And so again, and what's really good about this, what you're sharing and saying is, you know, the new you fractures a lot of this nonsense that the dark forces set up to fool us and have encapsulated us. And so again, we no longer have to be fooled by this. And it's okay. So whatever we've gone through, whatever we've been fooled by, it's all okay. you know, the best part is that it's not about good or bad, right or wrong. It's not about any of these things, the opposites or, you know, divine things or all these things that we've known. No, it's not about that at all. It's just very clean. It's an isness and being isness. And that's what's so cool about it, that we just cleanly walk through it, and it's ongoing, becoming more aware with your awareness. And so we don't need these old ideas anymore, none of them. And Paul started off with, you know, that it's not that you have a soul, you are soul. So we've gone through the steps and the ideas, but we don't need this stuff anymore. You know, we are beings, and as we focus on the isness life is, we forget ourselves, and we're okay. And it just takes a lot of practice. You have to practice, and you have to get the routine going, like exercise or anything else. And so your experiences are very good because they show you're telling people what's possible, but they have to learn to decide to do it for themselves. That's the biggie, and they have to decide. And at first, yeah, there's going to be, you know, it's just like cleaning out the old hose. When you turn on the water, all the dirt's going to come out. So when people first see this and confronting aliens or whatever it is, or dark things, they're thinking that, oh, you know, the new you is dark, but it's just like fasting or what have you. The bad stuff's going to come out first until you get cleaned out. And that's a heck of a process to get to that point where you recognize it. So over the years, I've seen so many people come and go because they just didn't keep going the course. Very few people do it because it is a lot. It is a heck of a lot, but you just got to keep going through the good times, the bad times, the discouragement. Sometimes you get down and you'll cry and you just, you know, it's like, why me or whatever. I've been there, went through all of it. And you know what? It's all okay. You just learn to be now. The more now you are, and to learn to see and recognize this. So the new you helps people out. And so you are the great witness, you know, testifying that, yeah, this does work. Try it, but you have to keep going until you really see how it works. Yes. Great, Jeremy. Yeah, thank you so much. And again, I'd like to write that up. If you'll write it in the chat, I'll make another image. Thank you.